Hi everyone. So in this little video, my attempt is to help you run through the questions that were asked in the Indian Forest Services mains examination from the year 2010 to 2018, the grammar section. So basically, this comes for 10 marks, and there are sentences for which you have to correct the grammatical errors. So, this exercise shall help you to quickly sort of understand the traps that UPSC is putting in, and therefore, for the upcoming exam, you can just try and keep these in mind. So, without further ado, we'll just begin. So, I've put the questions on the top and I've put the answers right below so that you can have a comparative, analysis of the same. So, there is too many people in the room is the wrong statement. Is has to be replaced by are. Then I kept the box besides me. So the trap over here is the difference between beside and besides. So besides is something otherwise, and beside is something which is kept next to you. So I kept the box beside me. The third one is I have no expert in the area, so I cannot do the work. It's not expert, it's expertise. Then let there be no misunderstanding between you and I. I has to be replaced by me. Uh, then the next one is, did he played the first match? So it is not played, it is just played. Did he play the first match? Then wanted armchairs for old people with folding legs. So this example is a distinct one because when you read the statement, there is nothing that is grammatically wrong, or even the words are used correctly. However, there is a reordering of the statement. So over here, it has been reordered as in the solution, as you can see on the right, wanted armchairs with folding legs for old people. So what happens in this is that you have to put the latter half of the statement in the beginning. So they wanted armchairs with folding legs for old people. So this is one thing that you can keep in mind. There will be one more example like this where they are reordering the words to make it correct. Okay, the seventh one, colleges spend a lot of money on equipments. So over here again, you can notice that it is written as equipments, and the correct statement is having only the word equipment. So even these minute things have to be noted down. So colleges spend a lot of money. This sounds absolutely correct, and therefore you might think it's a no error statement, but that equipments had to be replaced by the word equipment because even that is plural. Then the eighth one, I shall respond to your letter after I return back. So this is something that you would even speak and think that it is correct, but it is the correct answer for this one is I shall respond to your letter after my return. So not after I return back, but after my return. So again, after I return back has been replaced by after my return, and that has to be kept in mind. The ninth one is about timings. So the meeting will be held between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. So that between has to be replaced with from. So the meeting will be held from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, so the 10th one, he is one of the finest actor in Indian cinema. This is again a very crucial trap that they are putting in the exam. So he is one of the finest actors. You have to replace the word actor with actors because you're making a comparison of one from many. So he is one of the finest actors in Indian cinema. All right. Then the next one, I can't bear with the stress of modern life. So this has to be replaced with I can't bear the stress of modern life. The with is an extra word that is in the statement. Then the second one is yesterday I reached home very late. It's not reach, it's reached. I reached home very late. Then the third one, I studied in history because I like it. That is absolutely wrong. In history nahi hai. It's I study history because I like it. Then the fourth one, because of the rain, I would have been stuck in the traffic jam. So this is another distinct example that needs a quick revision before exam. So because of the rain, I would have been stuck in the traffic jam is wrong. It is because of the rain, I have stuck in the traffic jam. So would have been is an extra sort of statement over here. You have to kind of notice present continuous versus present perfect continuous. That has to be taken care of. So I would have been has to be replaced by I have stuck in the traffic jam. Then again, Newton is one of the esteemed scientists in the world. So one of the, we just discussed, one of the esteemed scientists. So the word scientist has to be appended with an S because you make it plural. So Newton is one of the esteemed scientists in the world. or of the world. Again, so there are three corrections in the statement. One is esteem becomes esteemed. Newton is one of the esteemed, because esteem is not a correct word. Scientist becomes scientists, which is with an S, and it's not in the world, it is of the world. So three things that were to be corrected. Then the sixth one, she gone out for a walk barely an hour ago. So again, this has to be replaced by she has gone out for a walk barely an hour ago. And then the seventh one, again interesting, because over here you have to note two things. Is and are, the distinction between is and are. So over here it's written the boxes of chocolates is very expensive. So there is one thing that you can do is that remove the es from the boxes and make it the box. The box of chocolate is very expensive. That is one correction that you can do. Or the other correction that you can do is the boxes of chocolates, which means that there are several boxes of chocolates, and make it are very expensive. All right. Then the eighth one, if you have reached the station on time, you not miss this train. You not miss the train. This is absolutely incorrect. It has to be replaced with the statement, if you reach the station on time, you will not miss the train. So it is a simple statement, like, if you reach the station on time, you will not miss the train. And the one given above is incorrect. Then the ninth one, the number of people going for an English movie is drastically in increase. Now, there are two changes that have to come in here. The number of people going for the English movie, not it is for the English movie has drastically increased. Is drastically in increase is an incorrect statement. You have to write the word has drastically increased. Something has drastically increased or decreased. That's what is the correct way of saying things. Then the 10th one, we should always work to keep pollution over control. So it's not over has to be replaced by under. We should always try to keep the pollution under control. And again, over here they've replaced work with try to keep. So we should always try to keep pollution under control. So over has been replaced by under. All right, so the key learning still here was that one, you have to understand from this Newton example, one of the, and then you have to replace with scientist ka scientists, like you have to make it plural. And then is and are was another important learning. The box of chocolates is very expensive, vis-a-vis are very expensive. And then ka the ka bhora, you have to please notice that in the ninth one, the number of people going for a English movie vis-a-vis the number of people going for the English movie. And again, is drastically increased is incorrect. You made it has. Then a quick recap just to affirm the learnings. Over here we saw that extra words like I can't bear with the stress was incorrect. You just have to say I can't bear the stress. Then reach becomes reached. Then you never study in something, you study. Just I study history because I like it. Then because of the rain, this sentence of which has I would have been stuck has been replaced by I have stuck in the traffic jam. So it's not I would have been, it's like you are stuck. So I have stuck in the traffic jam. Then we just looked at this rearrangement of words in the sixth one. Wanted armchairs for old people with folding leg. That has been replaced by wanted armchairs with folding legs for old people. Alright, then this between thing was replaced with from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then again, the Newton and the finest actor example. He is one of the finest actor in Indian cinema. The correct thing is he is one of the finest actors. You put the word S, actors, in Indian cinema. Then the first one that we looked at was there is too many people. Again, is and are is had to be replaced by are. And then besides we learned about that. Expert is not the correct word, expertise is the correct word. And then between you and I nahi hota, it's between you and me. So yeah, so these were the learnings. Then let's move ahead and look at few more examples. The Indian coral reefs are world famous but less explored, studied and utilized. So again, the Indian coral reefs, this is an example where but has to be replaced with yet. So we will see one more example where but will be replaced by a comma, but over here but can be replaced with yet. This is something that you have to keep in mind. So in the Indian coral reefs are world famous yet less explored, studied and utilized. Okay, so but has to be replaced by yet. Second one, like Himalayas, the Western Ghats play an important role in controlling and directing the monsoon. So what has to be noted, what you have to note over here is that they have given you the hint in the statement, like Himalayas, the Western Ghats. So you have to use the for even Himalayas, because if you're putting a the for Western Ghats, you also have to use it for Himalayas. So like the Himalayas, the Western Ghats also play an important role in controlling and directing the monsoon. So again, use of the word the, and over here they've used the word also. So also sort of makes the meaning a little different, where you're saying that like the Himalayas, the Western Ghats also play an important role in controlling and directing the monsoon. However, you can also remove the word also and just say like the Himalayas, the Western Ghats play an important role in controlling and directing the monsoon. Okay. Then third one is I am sitting here for hours. So I am, again, this is like I am will be replaced by I have been sitting here for hours, because you started that activity in the past and you're continuing it till the present. So I have been sitting here for hours. So it's not I am, because I am is just present continuous and I have been is happening from the past till now. Then because of the storm, I would have been home before 8. This is again something that you have to revise just before your exam, because in this it's not because of the storm, it is but for the storm I would have been home before 8. That means that agar storm nahi hota, then I would have been home before 8. So it is but for the storm I would have been home before 8. All right. Then the fifth one, he both stole my camera and cell phone. So again, it's like this both has to be written after stole. So he stole both my camera and cell phone. And please note, it's not he stole both my camera and my cell phone. No, it's just he stole both my camera and cell phone. All right. Then the sixth one over here, among long rows of beans and peas, the gardener planted radishes and cabbages. So among long rows nahi hota, it is between long rows. Even if you can imagine like the farming, or it is between two long rows of beans and peas that the gardener is planting radishes and cabbages. So among had to be replaced by between. Then the seventh one, he prefers listening to music than reading books. So this has to be corrected as he prefers to listen to music rather than reading books. Okay. So he prefers to listen. That is the change that had to be made. Then the eighth one, the higher the hill, wider the view. So again, if you notice, the higher the hill, comma, wider the view, this is incorrect. Rather, you have to say it like higher the hill, wider the view. That's it. So it's simpler, like you don't have to have two the's, like there are two the's. The higher the hill, wider the view. No, that is incorrect. Higher the hill, wider the view. It is just as simple as that. Now the ninth one, before they are ripe, we should not eat mangoes. So again, this is a ninth one is an example of rearrangement of the words. You have to put the word you should not eat mangoes before they are ripe. So in the ninth one, like we did in the that wheelchair, folding wheelchair, armed wheelchair example, same way over here you have to write you should not eat mangoes before they are ripe. So it's just a rearrangement. Okay. So this one, wanted armchairs with folding legs for the old people, the sixth one. And इनमें क्वेश्चन जो इनकरेक्ट है इन्होंने इसमें लिखा है wanted armchairs for old people with folding legs. So that we interchanged and we wrote wanted armchairs with folding legs for old people. Similarly, in this mango example, we wrote that you should not eat the mangoes before they are ripe. All right. Then you were ill yesterday. So this is a question mark. So no, it's incorrect. Were you ill yesterday is the correct way of asking a question. All right. Then then the next set of questions. 5A ka first wala. How long is he wearing glasses? How long has he been wearing glasses? Because he started something in the past and he's continuing it till date. So how long has he been wearing glasses? Then the second one, the new bridge had been opened 6 months ago. So over here, in the context of a bridge, you don't have to say that okay, something that is had been has to be replaced by a simple was in the case of a bridge, because you're just saying that the bridge has opened 6 months ago. So you don't need to put a had been over here. All right. However, in the first one, you're speaking about something that a person is doing. So how long has he been wearing glasses? All right. So that is to be just taken care of. Where unnecessarily they are putting had been, you have to please question that and replace it with a was in check. And where they're just keeping it is, you have to think about if it has been happening from the past, then you put a has he been word, okay, or a statement. Then the third one, I'm afraid he did a mistake in the calculation. So I'm afraid he has done a mistake in the calculation. So that is the correct. He did a mistake or he has done. Or you can also put a simple word. I'm afraid he has made a mistake in the calculation. Okay. But over here they made the did done. So even that is the correct way of correcting the grammatical error. Then the fourth one, his uncle did not arrive yet. So it's a correct way of saying it. His uncle has not arrived yet. Did not arrive yet? Nahi. Has not arrived yet. Alright. Then the fifth one, a good curry is my most favorite meal. So even though you must be using words like most favorite or but in the grammatical sense, this is incorrect, and you have to say a good curry is my favorite meal. That's it. Okay. Then the sixth one, he asked the gardener whether either of the ladies were at home. So in this, you have to be careful for two things. Number one, he asked the gardener, the whether is replaced by if. So he asked the gardener if either of the ladies was at home, because were is replaced by was because we are speaking of one lady. So if either of the ladies was at home, okay, so you're speaking of two ladies, so from them or how many ever, if either of the ladies was at home is the correct tense to be put there. Then every nation and every government are engaged in an economic war. So this has to be replaced by every nation and every government. Are ki jagah you have to put the word is engaged in an economic war. Same sense, like the same thing as the previous one, that every nation is one nation and every government is one specific government that you're speaking about. So R has to be replaced with is. So every nation and every government is engaged in an economic war, and over here every like he asked the gardener whether either of the ladies was at home, not were, because you're speaking of one lady. Then yeah, this one is interesting again, the eighth one. The sceneries of the Himalayas are unrivaled. Now what is happening over here, they have given the several, like in the eighth one, if you look at the statement, what you will assume is that the sceneries means many sceneries of the Himalayas are unrivaled. But the correct correction that is given is the scenery of the Himalayas is unrivaled. That means number one, you're replacing sceneries with one scenery, that is just one specific scenery for the Himalaya. Like for the entire Himalaya there is one scenery, and that is called the scenery of the Himalayas, and that is unrivaled because one specific scenery of the Himalayas, and it is unrivaled. So you using the word is, and the sceneries means that you are trying to think of maybe each valley, each slope, and then there are different sceneries, and then they are unrivaled. So that they have taken as wrong, although I mean if you sort of debate, then maybe this it could also be a correct way of saying, because you're speaking of sceneries and then you're putting the word are. But then the correction that they have given in the answer key is that you convert that several sceneries into one specific one, and then you call it is unrivaled because you're speaking of one particular scenery. Okay, so just as of now, what you have to be alert about is that in the exam, what were the traps that were put in the past, and if you see similar traps in the upcoming exam, then you just use that analogy and just try and make correct sentences and move on. Then the ninth one, the patient died before the doctor arrived. So the patient had died before the doctor arrived. Okay, so the patient had died is the correct statement. Then the last one from this set of the year, though he was busy, but he talked to me. So over here you have to put the word like you have to put the replace the but with a comma. So in the past we saw that we replaced the but with yet, but over here you're replacing the but with a comma. Though he was busy, comma, he talked to me. And as we saw over here, yeah, the Indian coral reef are world famous but less explored, studied and utilized. So over here you replace the but with yet. So you just have to keep these sort of unsaid rules in mind, and try and put the correct statements. So, all right. Then the next one, the apples are grown in many countries. Now, to this, there are two answers. One, you can just write the word, remove the, and just say that apples are grown in many countries. That is what one of the answer keys had noted. However, in this answer key, as per this answer key, the correct statement is the apple is grown in many countries. So again, like the way we spoke about the scenery of Himalaya is something like whatever. So we read over here, the scenery of the Himalaya is unrivaled. So similarly, the apple is grown in many countries. So you're speaking of one particular apple and you're saying is grown in many countries. Okay, so again, this is something that has to be kept in mind, and just revise this one. Then the second one, the chief with all his men were massacred. So again, over here you don't have to use the word were, you have to just put the word was, because you're speaking of the chief. Okay, you're just saying that he was with all of his men, but you're not saying that all of them were massacred. So the chief with all his men was massacred. All right. Then the third one of his friend has been injured in an accident. So this is, I think, a no. One of his, okay, correct. So again, please note. You can again make a mistake over here. We have read about Newton, we have read about actors, those two examples we read in the past. So one of his friend, nahi, one of his friends, you put the word S, has been injured in an accident. So again, very, very minute difference. You might think it's a no error statement, but you have to be careful. So as you notice, at least three things were repeated, like three traps you could keep in mind, and accordingly make the next year statement correct. So that way I hope this exercise helps. Then the fourth one, the food that I dislike mostly is cabbage. Again, most वाला भी हमने एक previous देखा था कि it's not something like most favorite, it is favorite. So again over here, mostly is a wrong statement. The food that I dislike just most. Okay, the food that I dislike most is cabbage. Okay, it just ends there, and you put a comma after I dislike most. Okay, then fifth one, I shall not stay long than I can help. So this is not long. I shall not stay longer than I can help. Then the sixth one, the prime minister lives in. Nobody lives in, you live at. If you're staying at a place. So the prime minister lives at 7, race course road. So also please note the fine and the wise use of commas as and where needed. So the prime minister lives at race course road. All right. Then the seventh one, I have seen the film last week. So it's not I have seen, it's I had seen, because you did it last week. So you go in the past tense. Then the next one, you have done a mistake. The eighth one, you have done a mistake is again, you can replace it with a better word. You have made a mistake. You have made a mistake. Okay. And then in the past, we saw one more statement where we replaced did with done. So with respect to mistake, we had just seen this. Yeah. I can't find it. But yeah, I think there was one where we replaced did with done. So similarly, in this case, you have done a mistake has been replaced with you have made a mistake. You have done a mistake has been replaced with you have made a mistake. Okay. Okay, so this is the third one. If you notice over here, I'm afraid he did a mistake in the calculation. This had been replaced with I'm afraid he has done a mistake in the calculation. So, or again, as I had mentioned, you can also put the word made. But again, since they've given did, you can make it done and it will sound like you've corrected it. So, I'm afraid he did a mistake in the calculation. I'm afraid he has done a mistake in the calculation. And then back to the one which we were discussing, you have done a mistake is replaced by you have made a mistake. Then we have finished our work. Have we? So, it's not have we, it's haven't we, or have not we. Okay. Then he asked me what I want. Then he asked me what I wanted is the correct one. Then the next set of question, he works hard lest he does not lose his job. So this is a tricky one. For now, just look at the correct answer ki he works hard lest he should lose his job. So sort of you're saying that work hard or else you will lose the job. So not easy to catch at the exam, but theek hai, this is how the correct statement is given. All right, then the second one, this cloth is inferior than that. It's not inferior than something, it's inferior to that. Okay. Then the third one, he made me to apply for the job. He made me to apply. To apply is again an extra put thing that they put. So you just have to say he made me apply for the job. The to was an extra. Then the cloth is inferior to that. वहाँ पर to डालना था और यहाँ से to निकालना था. Then again see then the second statement is sort of तुम ऊपर to डाल कर देख सकते थे, like you know you can just see if it fits in. Then did he tell you when he would return? So did he told you नहीं होता है, did he tell you होता है, did he tell you when he would return? Then I need little sugar for tea. This will be replaced by I need a little sugar for tea. Okay, so I need a little sugar for tea. So again carefully you have to put the insert the word a, and then it becomes correct. So in the same way that you inserted the in a few places. Then the sixth one, my older brother does not play hockey. Older nahi hota hai, it's elder. My elder brother does not play hockey. Then did he told you when he would return? Okay, we've done these. I enjoy to tell jokes. It's not enjoy to tell jokes, I enjoy telling jokes. So again, if you noticed in the same set of questions, twice or thrice they've unnecessarily inserted the word to. So then you have to be careful when they're inserting to and then replace it with something better. So I enjoy telling jokes. Then his uncle deals with pre-owned cars. So his uncle deals in pre-owned cars. Sort of it is his business. Then the officer came in just we were about to leave. The officer came in just when we were about to leave. Okay. Haven't you got nobody to help you? So nobody had to be replaced by anybody. Haven't you got anybody to help you? Then history tells us that we have learned nothing from history. So again, they're replacing history twice. So this has to be replaced by it. So history tells us that we have learned nothing from it. Then the manager will now try to make his executives to wind up their business within half an hour now. So the manager will now try to make his executives wind up their business within half an hour. That now is again an extra word. So again history को दो बार repeat किया, now को दो बार repeat किया, वो आपको check करके निकालना था. Then the third statement, there is no correction. And the fourth one, Robert always mistook Julie as her cousin Martha. Now over here Robert is a male and you can't put her for a male. So Robert always mistook Julie as his cousin Martha. So just simple being aware of even the gender, and her, him, has, you can fetch marks. Then the fifth one, since he had no money with him that day, he had to face a humiliating situation. So he had to face को replace करना है. Since he had no money with him on that day, he faced a humiliating situation. So had to face, again if you notice, to, had to face, all these are extra things. So you replace it with something simpler. Then one of the crucial factors were neglected from the very beginning. One of the crucial factors was neglected from the very beginning. Please note over here, first thing is one बोल रहा है तो you have to put instead of were was. And second thing, the same story, one of the crucial factor नहीं होता है, factors होता है. You have to make it plural. One of the crucial factors was neglected from the very beginning. Then seventh one, Uncle Rakesh has invited us to discuss the issue Friday. So ये गलत है. Uncle Rakesh has invited us on Friday to discuss the issue. Okay. Then eighth one, he is an idle worker as he takes a full day to complete an hour's job. He is an idle worker because he takes a full day to complete an hour's job. ठीक है. So just you had to say that as की जगह उन्होंने because डाला है. And no major other change. Then mother will not accept the gift nor she will allow you to accept it. So this has been replaced with mother will neither accept the gift nor will she allow you to accept it. ठीक है. तो neither nor वाला statement है ये. जैसे we saw in the beginning either को या whether को उन्होंने if से replace किया था. Okay, so this is a neither nor statement. Then the 10th one, Ravindran would not have taken the step if he would not have been facing a minor crisis. So Ravindran would not have taken the step if he had been facing a minor crisis. So would not have been facing को उन्होंने यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा चेंज किया है. Ravindran would not have taken the step if he would not have been facing a minor crisis. This has been sort of changed. Ravindran would not have taken the step if he had been facing a minor crisis. So that little bit of a change. So yeah, then there are just two more. Okay, then Sachin is a batsman par excellent, isn't it? It नहीं होता है, सचिन के लिए ही आएगा. Is not he. ठीक है. Where have you kept the apples? So the apples को उन्होंने change कर दिया. Where have you kept the apple? Although I mean not a significant change, but you have to be careful about this. And apples are increasingly being asked in different ways, so just be careful. Where have you kept the apple? Okay, और उसमें apples और apple वाला ही changes आ रहा है. Then if I would have gone to Amritsar, I would have brought a jacket for her. So if I had gone to Amritsar, I would have brought a jacket for her. If I would have gone नहीं, if I had gone, would have को उन्होंने had से replace किया है. ठीक है. तो इससे पहले भी वुड हैव को यहाँ पर रविंद्रन वुड नॉट हैव टेकन इफ़ ही वुड नॉट हैव बीन फेसिंग. तो रविंद्रन वुड नॉट हैव टेकन द स्टेप इफ़ ही हैड बीन फेसिंग अ माइनर क्राइसिस. तो सिंपली इफ़ आई हैड गॉन टू अमृतसर आई वुड हैव ब्रॉट अ जैकेट फॉर हर. तो वुड हैव को हटाकर सिंपल हैड डालना है. शी आस्क्ड वी दैट वाई वी हैड नॉट रिटन टू हर. तो इसका आंसर होगा शी आस्क्ड us that why we had not written to her. यहाँ पर उन्होंने कुछ चेंज कर दिया है. वी का उन्होंने मी बनाया. शी asked me that why I hadn't written to her, but I'm not sure if you can do that. You should rather replace the we with us, but you can just see what they've given here also. Her mother was nurse in this hospital. Her mother was a nurse in this hospital. And the last one, unless you work hard, you will pass. So unless you work hard, you won't pass is the correct statement. I'm reading this book for the last 5 days. So I am reading nahi, I have been reading, क्योंकि you started that activity in the past and you're continuing till date. So I have been reading this book for the last 5 days. My mother is seeing TV. Seeing नहीं होता है, mother is watching TV. ठीक है. Then there is not some milk in the bottle. There is not some milk नहीं है ही नहीं. There is no milk in the bottle. ठीक है. Then again your apple has come. Apple is good for health. Apples are good for health. ठीक है. So apples are good for health. You are speaking of all apples and they are good for your health. So again apple over here was where have you kept the apples? So where have you kept the apple? And in this case all the apples are good for health. Therefore not apple. Apples are good for health in general. And over here where have you kept the apples? Where have you kept the apple? मतलब एक apple कहाँ रखा है? And then before that you read about the apples are grown in many countries. This was replaced by the apple is grown in many countries. So please note that's how they've been playing with the word like singular versus general. Okay, so that was all about it. I hope it was helpful. Thank you.